A note on the prisoner. This is a tremendous, thought-provoking, admirable drama that has been included by the New York Times on its list of best 1,000 movies ever made. And indeed, it is superb acting, especially Alec Guinness, who is the cardinal and the prisoner in the title. Jack Hawkins is the interrogator. I've seen the two in a classic, one of the best 10, at the very least, best 20 films ever made, The Bridge on the River Kwai. And they have, of course, very different roles, but they're in the same film together, and it was interesting to see them in a different context, facing each other throughout most of the film. It is the interrogator facing the cardinal and trying to take him down, so to say. It is a narrative that recollects classic Darkness at Noon, a classic that has been included by the Modern Library on its list of best 100 novels, and not just that, it's somewhere at number 7. It's in the first 10 anyway, and it's 6, 7, or 8, I would say. Powerful description of what happens in a tyranny, a communist one, in Darkness and Noon. Here, it's not too sure. It may cover the left and the right extremes, tyrannies of all sorts. I, for one, recognize the left very well, having been through a communist regime. I see what they're getting at. And indeed, very early in the film, in the first scenes, in fact, we have the cardinal in a procession in a cathedral with people, with the faithful, and then, interestingly, he has text, maybe probably on the sermon of the day or something, and then one of his assistants inserts a note, and when he gets the holy books or whatever, there's they're here to arrest you. It has a note at the bottom, and he's looking, and indeed there's the police, and they get him. And throughout, the interrogator, using psychological techniques, he wants to avoid physical torture and abuses, even if he is pressed by superiors who come in periodically and say, well, look, it's been a week, it's been a few months since you've been working on him, but he's not giving in. No, you wait and I'll do it. It's true, psychologically they try so much. They use the light, they, in the sense that, for instance, at one point, the jailer says, look, there's the light, you can switch off, but no one did. They're afraid, and he's trying very hard. The cardinal has been through the war, and he fought against the Nazis, and he faced them, and he faced torture, and he's strong. In fact, when he's taken in by the police at the beginning, he says to people around him, the faithful, assistants, friends, look, whatever they take and they get out from there, it will be either a lie, an outright lie, or the result of human frailty, because he understands he can be taken down, he can be destroyed inside, and they try that. What makes this interesting is the fact that it's a psychological insight, and in fact, at one point, The interrogator seems to be onto something when he realizes that he is facing a modest man, and his modesty may be his weakness, because trying to be humble, he will in his humility, it's difficult to explain. It's so interesting and complicated, I would say. He would admit to vanity, even if it's not the case. But being humble, a modest gesture, a normal gesture, would be seen in the circumstances also of fatigue, of exhaustion, of being there all the time pressed psychologically, in jail, without friends, in solitude. And, you can imagine that. Knowing it can go on and on and on, and they can use more. In fact, they bring his mother at one point, and they say she's sick and she would be inoculated and she would be sent to this pavilion. But he says, well, we never had good relations. I'm what can I say? I don't have. This is not, and it is not his weak point, even if it sounds obnoxious, despicable. So, as I said, it looks like the modesty, depicting some of his acts. You wanted to do this for the church, but it was in fact vainglorious. It was your vanity. You wanted to prove yourself, to be seen as, and then the other thing you did, it's your arrogance, and it's not arrogance. In fact, it's modesty. And even the tormentor, the interrogator, with good psychological insight, deviously used this brilliance, though. Says, well, if he would have been arrogant and full of himself, he would have been more skeptical that this is a failure, that this was wrong, that this was, and indeed, it's an extraordinary insight and a wonderful drama to watch.